Hi, everyone. Welcome to our presentation on mindfulness. My name is Maggie.
My name is Reese.
My name is Bailey.
My name's Sunny.
And my name's Kevin.
And today we're going to be talking about how everyone can use mindfulness in their everyday life. So before we get started, there is a Google form linked in the description of this YouTube video. Please go ahead and fill that out. This is just going to allow for some self-reflection before we get started. It's only a few questions. Feel free to share as much or as little as you want. These answers will not be shared with anyone else. And it's really going to help get a basis for your own mindfulness practices before we get started on teaching you guys about them. So the first question is, what is mindfulness? This is a question that a lot of people probably have because mindfulness is so broad, but it can be described in many different ways. The most commonly described way is the practice of psychological well-being. By this, we mean being able to reflect on yourself and the actions that have led you to becoming the person that you are today. Mindfulness allows for one to become in tune with themselves and aware of what is happening around them. The best way to think of mindfulness is a deep self-reflection that allows for you and everyone who does it to have peace within. I really like this graphic that I added here on the left corner that says you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. I really think that mindfulness really helps with becoming more in tune with who you want to be and can definitely help with stress reduction and many other things, which we will talk about later in the presentation. But always take care of yourself first, and then you can help other people. And mindfulness is a great way to help yourself first. So we're going to be going over a quick video on deep breathing. I want you all to feel as comfortable as possible. So if you need to turn off your camera, or if you need to put headphones in, if you need to sit in a different chair, please make sure you are as comfortable as possible. And feel free to pause and resume as much as you'd like. And if at any point you do feel uncomfortable, you can skip this. Mindfulness is all about being in tune with yourself and feeling comfortable in yourself. So make sure you take care of yourself first. The presenter here is going to go through a few deep breathing practices, and after we are finished with that, we'll talk more about it.
Please sit up straight. Take your back off of the backrest. And if you can, put your hands on your side ribs. Make sure they're on your side ribs, not your hips. Ladies, think bra strap. Men, bra strap. About that high. Not the front, the sides. I know you're packed in close together. Now, when you inhale any way you like. Make your ribs go out to the sides. Fill your chest. So your ribs stretch out to the sides, not out front, out to the sides. Then exhale, sit taller. Again. Sit taller, exhale. Bigger, inhale, sit up and make your ribs grow out to the sides. Hold your breath. Exhale. Good. You can relax your arms, but keep imagining that your hands are there. And this is a very simple exercise. It's an old yoga exercise, and Dr. Andrew Weil is promoting it quite heavily now. It's fantastic. You can do it before you're going into a difficult situation or after. So it's called the 4-7-8 breath. You inhale for 4, you hold for 7, you exhale for 8. So we'll do one round now. We're going to go at this speed. So make sure you're sitting up off your backrest. You're going to inhale into your ribs, but to prepare, quickly exhale. Now, through your nose, inhale to the count of 4. 1, 2, deeper, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. More. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 4. 1, 2, 3. Expand your ribs. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 4. 1. Deeper. 3. Expand. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Quick breath in and out. In and out. Relax. So that's one of many exercises you can do. Once you learn them, you can do this at your desks. People take cigarette breaks. You can take a breathing break. Some doors only open from the inside. Breath is a way of accessing that door.
Thank you all for participating in that. Take a few seconds to reflect on how that made you feel and what you liked about that. And maybe write some notes on it so that way you can have something to follow along with once you practice it by yourself.
So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about groups that are more at risk for chronic stress. Stress is a part of everyday life and everyone experiences some sort of stress, but there are some groups that are more at risk for it. Women are more likely to experience more stress than men. So for example, they assume more day-to-day roles such as looking after the kids and cleaning. The gender wage gap that's between men and women, that's a real and true thing. The LGBTQ plus community can experience more stress due to discrimination. People in lower socioeconomic status, so single parents who have a minimum wage job and look after their kids. Education and environmental, so when the pandemic started, kids and college students were forced into remote learning and they had no idea how to do it. And minority groups who experience racism and oppression. Some signs and symptoms of chronic stress. These can all overlap. It's not a mutually exclusive thing. So I will just name a few off. You can experience headaches, muscle tension, sleep issues. People can start substance abuse, diabetes, or heart disease.
Okay, so a couple of ways that mindfulness can reduce your stress. Studies have shown that mindfulness can actually change the structure of your brain that is associated with attention and emotion regulation. So this makes your body and your brain more adapt to dealing with these stressful situations the more that you encounter them. So if you're able to channel some mindfulness during these stressful situations, your mind will eventually learn how to tolerate these situations a little bit better as you go. And those who actually practice are less likely to react with negative thoughts in times of stress because you become adapt to it at that point.
So there are many different ways you can practice mindfulness. And as mentioned earlier, deep breathing is one of them. Overall, it's just important that you are comfortable when practicing mindfulness. It should never feel forced or stressful. Mindfulness is really a time for you to look at yourself and take time to reflect on your actions and even like what has happened throughout the day. A few examples of these are meditation, yoga. Journaling is a great way to practice mindfulness. You can write down how you felt throughout the day, and then maybe if you want, you can tear it up if you had a bad day or look back on it in the future. Let's see, gardening is a great way to practice mindfulness as well. You really get time alone, and you also, especially if you have a green thumb, you can plant different plants, which is really fun. Aromatherapy as well. If you have essential oils or anything like that, you can meditate and then put like essential oils behind the back of your ear, or you can have a diffuser going, something like that. Going for a drive along the beach. If you don't live near the beach, then you can go for a drive along your favorite route. If you have, like if you live in a forest area, you can drive through there or anything like that. As well as like cleansing your crystals. I know a lot of people have started to get into that, and crystals are a great way of feeling healing and peace within. And I know sometimes when people's crystals aren't cleansed, it causes a lot of anxiety. So something like that can help a lot. As well as going to a workout class. Working out is a great way to reduce stress, and it really allows you to think about how amazing your body is and how it's working to get you through the intense workout.
So we went ahead and looked at some statistics regarding mindfulness to see the positive effects it has on reducing stress, anxiety, who it affects, what we can do to help those negative effects that we're feeling every day. So one study that we found was done by Frontiers in Psychology. It showed that men actually, compared to women, the women showed greater decrease in negative effects and greater increases on scales measuring mindfulness and self-compassion. I did a little further research because I was curious as to why women were showing greater decreases in negative effects and greater increases in positive effects. And I actually found that women are anatomically different with their ribs, lung, diaphragm anatomy. The women's ribs are declined, and so the intercostal muscles raise the ribs more efficiently and produce a more pronounced thoracic breathing, which makes sense when you look at that data, that women show the greater decreases in stress due to deep breathing. They're able to breathe deeper, which slows your body's functions down, slows your heart rate down. And so it does make sense that women show a more positive effect with deep breathing. Another statistic I was able to find was 20% of Americans who experience insomnia use breathing exercises to sleep better, which again makes sense. If we go back to what I was just talking about, deep breathing slows your body's functions down. If you're able to slow your heart rate down, quiet your mind, you're obviously going to be able to drift off to sleep easier, and you're probably going to have a better night's sleep in general as well. You're going to get more REM sleep, you're going to be able to hit that deep sleep better, and you won't be up all night with a busy brain, anxiety, stress. Deep breathing is going to be able to ground you and get you to a place where you can sleep peacefully and transition into your good night's sleep.
So as we discussed before, you don't necessarily have to meditate in order to be mindful. Mindful can be incorporated into your day-to-day activities, where mindfulness is its own practice in itself. Meditation can be mindfulness, but mindfulness is not necessarily meditation. And it starts from the moment that you wake up. When you wake up, take a moment to kind of visualize what you're going to accomplish that day and see yourself succeeding. But while you're doing that, make sure that you acknowledge certain things that might go wrong throughout the day and have a solution for them before they happen. Kind of anticipate those things, but have a positive solution for them so that when they do present themselves, you're able to recover and adjust as needed. Enjoy your meals. Don't just fuel the beast, I guess. When you sit down for a meal, actually enjoy it, taste it, savor the food, take a breath. You'll actually experience different tastes if you breathe while you're eating, specifically through your mouth. You can experience different tastes that you normally wouldn't when you're eating. Even if it's the same foods, you can experience different tastes that you didn't before just by stepping back and actually enjoying the meal versus just eating to eat. Exercise throughout the day. You can practice mind-muscle connection that isolates yourself from the world because it's just you and your body at that point. And at that point, you're actually engaging your muscles better than you probably would if you weren't and you were thinking about something else. So don't just go through the motions when you exercise. Challenge yourself. Work at the mind-muscle connection. And then when you rest between sets or whatever it is you may be doing, rest with a purpose. Get ready for the next set. Think about something positive. See yourself succeeding in the next set. Then going forward into driving. Drive in the moment. Don't go into autopilot, even if it's the same route every day. Make sure that you're being engaged in driving. One, it will make you a better driver, but two, it will also ready you for any sort of changes in traffic patterns. If somebody cuts you off, you'll be able to respond a little bit better without engaging in road rage or just having that negative sensation. You'll be able to kind of anticipate it a little bit better and respond accordingly. And then just throughout the day, pay attention to what you're doing. Studies have shown that multitasking does not show the same benefits as if you were engaged in a single activity. You can't accomplish the same things as well if you're multitasking as if you were to just do one activity at a time. So when you're taking part in an activity, take part in that activity, be present. Don't just have your mind one place and your body in the present. Make sure your mind is there as well. And with anything in life, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you're going to get at it. Don't expect to have this down tomorrow. You're going to have to practice and practice and practice. And it in itself is mindfulness. So.
All right, so as Kevin just said, practice is incredibly important, and an important factor for mindfulness is making sure that you're consistent with it. Research can show it takes up to 66 days to build a new habit. Now, we're not telling you have to do this 66 days in a row to feel any difference, but trying to do it around 3 to 4 times a week is a great start to kind of get you on the right path and get you started. A great thing about mindfulness is that it doesn't take very long at all. As you saw today, we did a couple minutes. You could do it for that short, 10 minutes, or even an hour if you'd really like to. It's all up to you. And if you don't think that you have time, I know we all live very busy lives with work and school, whatnot, but we all do. I mean, at the end of the week, we all get our screen time from our iPhones and we all think, wow, was I really on it 3-4 hours a day? We could all cut out 10 minutes to work on ourselves and try to better ourselves. One thing that I would suggest is in order to implement mindfulness, is to implement it into a ritual that you already have or a habit. So for myself, I really like waking up, having a coffee and breakfast pretty much every morning, no matter how early it is. Like right there is a good time to add 5-10 minutes on top of it. Just wake up a little earlier, or don't scroll through your timelines right when you wake up. Another good time is when you get home from the day. So say had a long day at work, stressful day, school, both, whatever it is, as soon as you get home, practice for 5-10 minutes. It'll maybe help you unwind and kind of cool off for the rest of the night. And then the last one that I think we all could do, and I know we're all guilty of, is doing it right before you fall asleep. We all scroll on our phones with the bright screen stimulating our brains, keeping us up. If you just download an app or go on YouTube, look up some of these things that we could utilize. You can set your phone aside for 10 minutes, close your eyes, practice breathing, and it'll make us more tired. So Maggie, if you could you pull up the infographic? All right, so here's our little handout for you guys. Feel free to take it home or take a picture. This is kind of an overview of everything that we went through today. Hopefully taking this home, you'll start to implement it into your life and get you on the right path of mindfulness. So that concludes our little topic here. Do we have any questions?
Let's see. It looks like we have a few questions in the chat. The first one is, can you practice mindfulness with someone else?
I'll take that one. I think you absolutely can. It's not, the beautiful thing about mindfulness is it's not confined to certain rules or guidelines. It's anything really that centers you and grounds you and makes you feel peaceful or reduces stress or anxiety. It can range from driving in the car with your best friend, listening to your best music, just blasting it as loud as you can, or meditating on your own time in your garden or in your bed or whatever it is. I mean, you can go to a yoga class and there's ranges from 5 to sometimes 100 people, and they're all there for mindfulness, for clarity, for peace, and all meditating at the same time or stretching and practicing yoga. So it really doesn't matter. You can do it by yourself or you could do it in a group, 1, 2, 3, 5 people if you wanted to.
Awesome. And another question is, do you have any recommendations for any mindfulness apps or videos?
Yeah, I have a few. There's a couple big ones. Just search in the App Store, mindfulness. Some that'll pop up will probably be Headspace and Calm. Those are some of the most biggest ones. There's another one called the Mindfulness App. These all have walkthrough videos and listen-ins, kind of like what we did today. YouTube also has anything you could ever need. So feel free to search on there. You can put it to the side and listen. And these are all free. Some of them will probably have memberships if you'd like, if you get really into it, but it's all at your disposal.
Awesome. And then the last question is, what is the best time of day that I should be practicing mindfulness?
Sure, I'll take it. So yeah, there really is no best time of day. Whatever works for you is the best time of day. Like we talked about before, it doesn't have to be setting time aside to do it. Like the methods we talked about, where we actually sit down and do breathing techniques, awesome. But I can empathize with a person that says, well, I don't have time to do this, because we're busy people. So even just taking some part of your day-to-day activity, like Bailey mentioned, going on your favorite drive, even if it's not your favorite drive, I'd like to think about mindfulness when I'm commuting. It's made me a better driver. I think a lot of times I'll anticipate traffic changes in traffic patterns before they actually happen, and I'll be over a lane, and then sure enough, somebody swerves into the lane that I was in. So being engaged in these activities really makes us better members of that activity. So you can do it while you're sitting in traffic, and now all of a sudden traffic is no longer a stressor for you. Or if you have kids, anticipate something always goes wrong with kids. Somebody's going to scream at you, or somebody's going to start crying. Well, anticipate these things, and you might be able to prevent them, you might not, but either way, you'll be able to respond better in a more positive manner. And your kids will also appreciate your changes in mindfulness.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That is all for our presentation. To finish off, I'm going to have you guys click the link for the exit survey. This is just going to ask a few questions about what you learned from this presentation, and if you feel like you are going to implement mindfulness into your everyday life. Again, this is only for you to look at. We are not going to look at any of your answers. We just want you to reflect on how you felt throughout this presentation and what you're going to take away from it. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope you practice mindfulness more often, and we'll see you guys soon.